Welcome to the Never Split Up podcast. My name's Nolan, that's Anthony, and this is episode 26. How you doing today, Ant?
I'm doing good. It's Memorial Day weekend, so we're kicking off this summer season.
Yeah, we made it to 26 episodes. Thanks everyone for listening and watching to our special 25th episode where we ranked our favorite final girls. That was a lot of fun. But for episode 26, we figure we kick off summer with a little summer episode of our favorite horror movies that remind us of summer or that we'd like to watch during summer. So this is just like a short little list. There's going to be some bigger movies on here, but we're also going to give you some alternatives and some smaller movies that maybe you haven't heard or seen it or haven't seen in a while. So yeah, this is just going to be a list of movies we like to watch during summer or that remind us of summer. We thought this would be a fun, quick little episode to kind of kick off the season right. And speaking of our 25th episode, you wanted to make a little, I guess, disclaimer or announcement about the poll and where you stand with Laurie Strode, right?
Yes, I do. Again, I know everyone was so passionate about their final girls. I didn't actually know until I saw all the feedback, and I just wanted to say, thank you, everybody. Spoiler alert: I won that poll hands down. Cindy Prescott destroyed the poll. But I just wanted to make it known that Laurie Strode. I hope you guys check out that episode. I think it was really good, and I think we both brought great perspectives of what it meant to us for Final Girls. So I hope you guys check out our top 10. But just spoiler alert, Laurie Strode is my number 2. So just want to make it clear that I love Laurie Strode. She's an all-timer for me. It's just that for me, Laurie Strode perfected the trope, but Sidney Prescott just embodies everything that it means to be a final girl. So that's why she's my ultimate. And I'm thankful that a lot of people agree with me. But I just wanted to make sure that people didn't think that I was tearing down Laurie Strode to prop up Sydney because I love them both. They're all timers. I know people will go back and forth and who is their favorite every day. So just want to make it known that although I'm thankful that I won the poll and that I love Sidney Prescott, that Laurie Strode is not like bottom of the barrel. She's a fucking badass and she perfected the trope that Jess Bradley from Black Christmas started. So I just want to make that clear that I love Laurie Strode and I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I didn't want anyone to think that I was tearing her down. So that's all. But thank you everybody for voting. I think that was probably the poll that we've had the most people participate in, specifically on Twitter. So that was very awesome to see all that interaction and the passion. I really loved it. And shout out again to Nancy Thompson. She was in both of our top 5, and I love that she has so many passionate fans as well. So just wanted to get that out of the way that I do love Laurie Strode very much. So watch the episode. You'll see me explain why. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean it's really just preference. It's your personal
Right,
favorite. I mean, my favorite franchise is Halloween. Your favorite franchise is Scream.
right,
So that's really
right.
all it comes down to. And just because you put Sydney 1 does not take away from Laurie, and just because I put Laurie 1, I don't
Doesn't take away from it.
not recognize how badass Sydney is. Sydney was in
Right.
my
I
top
mean,
5
she
too.
was in your
So
top 5 as well. Like
yeah,
they were both in both of our top 5. So I just want everyone to know that we both love them both. It's
yeah, and I'm
just,
glad you gave a shout
yeah,
out to Nancy Thompson because we should have maybe made her like a third choice. The point of the poll was it was both of our top picks, so we wanted to
right,
see
right.
who won in terms of that. But we had a lot of people in the comments vote for Nancy, so maybe we should have made that a third option. It could have been interesting. But yeah, thanks everyone for the engagement. That was a lot of fun. All the votes, all the comments, all the retweets. Definitely, we want to see that moving forward. That was awesome. People are really passionate about their final girls. So,
Very.
and if you haven't listened to the episode, those were our top picks, but we each did a top 10, so we didn't spoil, the entire episode for you. I think we both had some pretty interesting picks
We did.
that people might not suspect. I know I had some picks that surprised you with how high some of my picks were, so I think it was a
Yes, you
good
did.
discussion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so make sure you check that episode out because I see we got a lot of interaction on Twitter, but I just want to make sure you guys actually listen or watch to see our explanation of why we chose, the placement for each character. It's a pretty cool episode, so make sure you guys check
Mhm.
that out. That was this cool special 25th episode. And we'll eventually do our Scream Queens episode, and I actually want to do a Final Boys episode too because I forgot to mention on that episode, horror gets like labeled as like trash by a lot of like mainstream critics, but like it was pro feminism without shoving it in your face. And now it's like everything that's feminism, it's like shove it down your throat. So I just think that horror doesn't get enough credit for being like pro female without like sending a message. Just like it was a strong female because she's a strong female. It didn't have any like political message behind this. So I think it's pretty cool that horror again was a trailblazer for that and it doesn't get enough credit. So I'm excited to do another Scream Queens list and a Final Boy list because now that I think about it, I do have a couple awesome Final Boys that I want to shout out to in the future. So yeah, it was a fun video. So make sure you guys check it out.
For sure, we got some new rankings in the pipeline. Definitely give us your suggestions on what rankings you want to see. We want to keep doing those ranking episodes. They're a lot of fun for us, and you guys seem to like it too. In that same vein, everyone who listens, we appreciate all your listeners, but if everyone can do us a favor and subscribe to our YouTube, we're trying to really build up our YouTube and get our subscriber count up. So if you do watch on YouTube, obviously hit that subscribe button. But if you just listen, if you could just do us a favor, if you have a YouTube account, just hop on our YouTube real quick and give us a subscribe. Because we unlock new features as we get more subscribers. That's the way YouTube works. So we would love to get that count up so we can kind of unlock more content. And we can, I think, start running polls on YouTube as well, which I think might help with our engagement. So yeah, if you guys could, that would be great. But for now, let's get back to the summer vibes. Let's go through our list of summer horror movies. This isn't going to be a ranking. These are not in order at all. We just compiled movies that just we like to watch during the summer or that remind us of summertime. So don't think this is like, from worst to best or best to worst. This is just, our recommendations. Like I said, we have some bigger names on here that you've definitely heard of or seen, but we tried to incorporate some other movies on here that maybe you haven't seen or haven't seen in a while. So definitely check these movies out and give them a try because we like all of these movies that we're going to mention. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so like Nolan said, it's Memorial Day. We're recording this on literally Memorial Day, so we just thought it was a great idea to kick it off the summer with just mentioning some of our favorite summer movies. And for me specifically, I just really thought about what horror movies bring the hardcore summer vibes because I mean, no one can attest to it. There's endless summer movies, but I just wanted to make sure I narrowed it down to like what really brought out the summer in the movie. So I don't know how you want to do it. I'm just gonna throw out a couple, I guess not honorable, I guess honorable mentions. We're not really having a top five, but I'm just gonna throw out one of mine is Midsummer, aka Midsommar, however you want to pronounce it. Ari Aster's second feature film after Hereditary. If anyone's going through a breakup, I really recommend this movie. It's very powerful, and it just gives that like sunny summer vibe, but like horrific things are happening, and you have a great lead performance by Florence Pugh, who like really blew up since that movie. That might have been the movie that made her a star. I know she had a couple movies before that put her in the spotlight, but this movie really like threw her into the stratosphere of mainstream Hollywood. And it's just a fucked up movie about a cult. And I don't want to say too much because I want to cover it eventually, but it really worked for me. And I think that it's a great way to like maybe watch sometime in like middle of July if you guys have the chance, because it just feels so like hot and like sunny, and you get like you almost feel like you want to sweat watching it because that's how like dread inducing it is. So I really adore that movie. It's not going to be for everyone because it's not a mainstream movie, but it definitely goes to some places that you won't forget. That's what I'll say.
It's so unique too because a movie like that you expect to be dark, but the entire movie quite literally takes place during the day. There's like one or two scenes that are like at night, but the entire movie is, like you said, bright sunshine, daytime. If you're into cult movies, this is the one to watch. It was a pretty big release, so I'm sure most people listening have watched it by now or have heard of it. But if you haven't, yeah, that's like the epitome. I mean, it literally revolves around the summer solstice. So all right, cool.
And it's so strange because it's like an open it feels like it's so open because it just like the way he filmed it, but it's so isolated because they're only with this specific group and they have nowhere to go. So it's he again. I mean, Ari Aster. You don't need me to tell anybody that. I mean, to me, Ari Aster is a master. We'll talk about Hereditary one day, but whew, Ari Aster.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. My pick for one is actually pretty unique. It's not really like daytime like midsummer, but it's Jeepers Creepers. Only
Okay.
because whenever I watch that movie, I just think of like hot, muggy, sweat. Like they're in the South. They're on a road trip. I think it does take place during the summer. Aren't they on their way back from school?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
it is.
want to say Florida. I don't know for sure, but I want to just say it feels like a
they're
long
coming from
Florida
through
road.
Florida. Yeah, yeah. But so the summer aspect is not like at the forefront like Midsummer is, but I love watching this like on like a muggy night in the summertime. It just kind of just exudes that vibes. And Jeepers Creepers is just a fun time. Shout out to the sequel as well. I really enjoy the sequel, Jeepers Creepers 2, with the bus. Some of those scenes really stuck with me when I was a kid, when I was growing up. So
yes, I just wanna say that first of all, we're gonna have to get the elephant out of the room. I don't know about you, Nolan, but I saw Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 2 before I knew about the controversy of the director. So, you know, sorry guys, but it's just part of my childhood. I didn't if I would have known about that, maybe I wouldn't have watched it, but I watched it because there was hundreds of other people who created the movie, not just the director. So it's just part of my childhood. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But to what you said, that muggy feeling, even in like the opening scene, I'm like yelling at the screen to just like turn on the AC and like it just like that's how like powerful that movie is because you're just like feel the summer heat in it.
Yeah.
And shout out to Trish. I did mention her as an honorable mention in my Final Girls because she is pretty badass in the first movie. I love her so much. Yeah, I 100% agree. It just feels like you're in like a humid, like nasty, like weather where you're just like, all right, I'm ready for it to be fall kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I adore it. I adore it so much.
Cool.
That's a good pick. I'll throw out another one. So I have one that's also from our childhood. I don't know if you watched it when we were kids. Lake Placid. You got to have a good alligator crocodile movie on the list. I mean, come on. Creature features are made for the summer.
Yeah.
I love Bridget Fonda. I love. It's just such a good. It's just a good movie where it's like I would say I would recommend it maybe like to watch the night before you're gonna go camping somewhere because it's not like a beachy movie, but it's almost like a movie during the day where you get the summer vibes, but at the night you get like the summer chill where you want to put on a hoodie and watch a movie, and it's just so much fun. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's like campy, but it also has creepy scenes, so it's just like the perfect blend. I don't know. I grew up with it, so I really adore it so much. It's definitely a fun movie. Even if you guys aren't into like hardcore horror, I would say I would recommend that one. There's a couple scenes where like the alligator like eats a couple animals, but it's not done in like a mean way. It's kind of just done for fun. I mean, it eats a couple cows, but it's just I don't know. I have a lot of fun with it, and it's a blast. And I watch it every year. I really, 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 really adore it. And it's a quick like 80-minute movie. So if you guys want a quick fun movie before you go out to drink on a Friday or Saturday night, I would pop that one in when you guys are pre-gaming maybe.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation. That's a movie that you could definitely watch with buddies, either like in the summertime before you go out, or even like while you're on a camping trip, or you're like at a lake house or something. It's a fun.
Yeah, and it has fucking Betty White in it, being a badass. So fucking watch that shit.
Yeah, you're a little bit more familiar with the movie than I am. I've seen it a couple times, but it's actually been a while. So that's gonna be. I'm gonna put that on my list. So
you should.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that soon. I remember that being a pretty fun movie.
It's like a breezy movie, nothing to take serious, but I just always like it. I smile the whole way through it, you know?
Awesome. Well, speaking of smiling the whole way through, my next pick is the movie Anaconda. I love that movie. It's talk about cheesy and just like a fun ride. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's got Jennifer Lopez in it. It's got who's the boat captain? What's that actor's name? The captain of the boat. I should have looked this up beforehand.
The villain or
the villain.
John Voight.
John Voight. Yes, that's his name. Sorry, the name escaped me. So it has actually decent acting in it, but it doesn't take itself
Owen
seriously at
Wilson.
all. Owen Wilson, yeah. It's just fun. Giant snakes, they don't really scare me, but they fascinate me, especially giant
They freak me
constrictors
out.
like that.
Ugh.
Yeah. And I grew up with that movie, and then when I found out afterwards that people owned like giant anacondas in their house, like that was the scariest thing to me. I'm like, wait, people have these as pets? I never realized. So yeah, anaconda again. It's got that just summer. They're in like the freaking rainforest. Like it's just a wet,
Yeah.
hot, muggy movie. Doesn't really make sense to watch it in the wintertime. Definitely watch it in the summertime because
No.
you'll get that immersion like when you're hot as well. But yeah, that's a fun movie if nobody's seen it, or if you've heard of it or seen trailers back in the day and you think it's just like kind of like, a throwaway. It's not. It's I don't know how
No.
you feel about it. It's a little bit more elevated than just like a cheesy B movie. It's I don't know the word to describe it, but
I think it's a fun, cheesy '90s movie, but it's quality, if that makes sense. Like it's not just like thrown
yeah.
together just to be like a Friday night TV movie. It actually has some like
Mhm.
it has good special effects. I mean, the
It
acting's
did for the
great for that
time.
kind of movie.
Yeah.
Um, I actually want to give a shout out to, I don't know if you've seen one of the sequels, Anaconda's The Hunt for Blood Orchid. Blood Orchid. I think that was like 2004, but that was a really good sequel, and that kind of like took it to the next level of Anacondas. I really liked it.
I'd have to watch that again. I think I've seen it. I probably have
Yeah, I
seen it,
liked it
but
a
I
lot.
don't
Yeah,
remember. So that I'll have to add that to my list. That's like
yeah.
that's in the
So
same universe. It's like a direct sequel.
yeah,
Okay.
it's called like Anaconda,
Okay.
hyphen, whatever subtitle. But I thought it was fun, and I think I heard a rumor that they're trying to bring the franchise back. So I think it would be cool if you guys,
I've heard
should
those
probably
rumors
check
too.
that out.
Yeah.
Because the first one is pretty great, and not, I mean, it's great to like, have pop some popcorn and have a
Hmm.
fun Friday night. But like you said, it's not just like bad. It's like cheesy fun with like some good suspense. I mean, it's not the
Yeah.
greatest movie ever, but it's a good summer movie. It's literally made to be a summer movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with it, and I think you guys should check out The Hunt for Blood Orchid too. That was a really good sequel, in my opinion. It had some intense scenes. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with an Anaconda movie. And you guys have probably noticed by now, I'm a very strong animal advocate, but for some reason, snakes just fucking freak me out. I have no
Really.
sympathy for them.
Really. Oh, okay. I learn something new every day
I
over
have
here.
sympathy when people just like kill them, they kill them, but I'm
Okay.
just like, ugh, I don't know. They're so slimy and like
Hmm.
freaky. I
They
don't know.
fascinate me. I don't know. They're so
They
cool.
do. Ugh,
Yeah.
ugh. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Giant water snakes
um,
like that though are fucking creepy.
ugh,
Yeah.
I can handle a garden snake, but not an anaconda.
You ever
That
have
freaks
like
me out a
in
little bit too
in
much.
grade school? You ever have like giant snakes come in? You pet them?
Well, we had I don't know if you remember our fifth grade celebration. We had like Britney Spears. We held
Oh
the big snake. I
yeah!
held it. Yeah, if you remember
Wow.
that,
Yes,
because
I
I
do
actually
remember
held
that.
it,
I
and
need to find
I
that
thought it felt
photo.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a giant. Was that an anaconda? It might have been.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
giant.
I mean, it was huge.
Yeah.
I remember feeling it at home. Like, this is like very. It like wrapped around my neck, and I was like, "This is cool." But then I'm like, "Why did I do that? It's kind of freaky."
I gotta try to dig those photos up for fifth grade. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
fun time.
that was cool. I do remember that though specifically. I'm like, "Oh, this is slimy."
Yeah.
That's a good pick. I guess while we're staying with aquatic horror, we should probably get the big boy out of the way, in my opinion. Um, it's Jaws, and if anybody does not watch Jaws during the summer, I don't even know if you have a brain. But what I like to do is I like to watch. I mean, the OG Jaws is a classic. It's both. It's. I mean, spoiler alert. It's both of our. It's probably in both of our top five movies of all time.
Yeah.
Um, and I also adore Jaws 2. I make sure I watch it back to back. I think Jaws 2 is pretty much like Halloween 2 and Scream 2, where
Hmm.
it's has the same vibe as the original and you can't go wrong with it. I don't understand people who bash it. Um, I love it so much, and I think it's a great double feature. I just think that it goes more a little have more carnage happy in the sequel, which is literally what sequels are meant to
Well,
do.
yeah, that's what you
And
want. Yeah, exactly.
exactly, and I love watching it. I try to watch it towards a little bit closer to 4th of July, like, end of June, 4th of July, to get into the heat of summer. But I mean, you guys know what Jaws is. I mean, specifically Jaws and Jaws 2, they are all timers for me. The later sequels obviously are pretty trash, but I do watch them just because I'm a freak and I'm a completist. But you guys, if you haven't watched Jaws and Jaws 2 back to back, you're missing out. You should definitely do it.
Hmm. Definitely agree. Jaws is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's a perfect movie. Thank you, Spielberg, for creating the summer blockbuster. I mean, if you don't watch this in the summer, it literally created the genre, not just for horror,
Yes,
but for pretty
in
much
general.
any genre. Jaws 2 is awesome. Jaws 2 is more like a fun because it has like the party scenes and the kids like partying on the island and stuff. So
The teens, yeah.
I think of summer more with that movie as well. Uh, Shout out to Jaws 3D. I really like Jaws 3 as well. It's definitely takes the campiness up a notch, but the it's really unique because they go away from Amityville and it's now in the what, like I guess you call it a water
It's
park
like
setting.
SeaWorld, pretty much
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah,
like
pretty
SeaWorld
much.
with
Yeah.
the man-made lake that it gets into, and I love some of those scenes with the water skiers and stuff. They're pretty
Yeah.
intense. I know it gets ragged on, but I actually really enjoy that movie too. So I
Yeah,
try to
it's
watch all
bad,
three
but
of
I
those
do watch
movies.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It just makes me sad because in Jaws 2 they have the one in captivity and then it dies just because like it's a baby and they took it away from its natural habitat. I'm like, this
mm.
is why people suck.
But in that same vein, I want to give people everyone's seen Jaws, um, but I want to run down a couple movies that are also shark movies that maybe you haven't heard of or haven't seen that I think of summer. The first one being The Shallows. We talked about this before we started recording. Talk about summer vibes. And Blake Lively in a bikini. I mean, it doesn't get more hot and steamy than that. Like, damn, when she's taking off her clothes and stripping into her bikini in that
Right.
scene, man. Oh,
And I will
jeez.
say
The male audience will definitely like that.
if you had to have an honorary like shark movie final girl, I feel like Blake Lively would be the ultimate because she kicks
Mhm.
ass in that fucking movie.
Yeah, for
She has
sure.
final girl energy in that movie.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of regretting not mentioning her in the episode because uh, this is more of a it's funny. I just actually watched The Shallows a couple weeks ago because again, summer was coming up and I just love that movie. But it's almost like a face off where like her and the shark are on equal footing almost because she's able to outsmart him in a way.
She's a
Like in
badass.
Jaws, it's like, Jaws is this big bad monster, but
Right.
in this one it's almost personal. Like the shark is like really like taking it personal and is like torturing her like on that
I
rock
love
the
how she
entire
has her
time. So
one-liners with the shark. It's like
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
It's literally a badass final girl. It's
yeah,
literally she like talks. She's like,
yeah.
"Fuck you, let's go."
Yeah, so you're not gonna get. I mean, it has a few kills, but you're not gonna get like the carnage that you get and like the overall, I guess, grandiose of like some of the other shark movies as of late, like the Meg and stuff. But
Right. It
it's
has
it's
great
very
suspense
contained.
though.
It's got some good suspense. And it's got, like you said, it's the shores of Mexico. It's the middle of summer. It's
So
just
summer.
so
So summer.
so cool. She's surfing. It's got some surfing scenes in it, which I love. Love a good surf movie, so it's kind of got all of that stuff. Any other
And
shark movies?
it has your feel good summer ending where I mean spoiler, but she's trying to like connect with her mom who passed away and the ending's kind of touching. So like the ending doesn't leave you feeling bad. It makes you like leave feeling uplifted almost too. So yeah, recommend that for a nice suspenseful feel good ending. I do have some shark movies because I love my shark movies. My favorite other than Jaws and Jaws 2 is Deep Blue Sea. Again, I'm a 90s kid and Deep Blue Sea is my jam. It's so good. I mean, you have LL Cool J with a fucking bird talking. I mean, it's fucking hilarious. It's good.
Mm,
It's carnage. There is blood, hardcore blood. Stellan Skarsgård gets his fucking arm bit off. It's
yep.
fucking amazing. It's so good. I mean, if any 90s kid has seen Deep Blue Sea, let's just say that. So if you guys haven't, pop yourself some popcorn and pop that in, because you will have a blast. Some of the shark effects are awesome, and some of them are like so bad CGI, but that's just what makes this movie so glorious. And I don't even think that a shark movie besides The Shallows has met the quality of Deep Blue Sea since Jaws. So Deep Blue Sea and The Shallows really took on the mantle after Jaws for having like quality horror movies, and
Yeah.
it's so much fun. I mean, you can't not have fun watching this movie. And some of the characters you're like, yes, fuck him up, shark, can't wait for you to die. But then the other ones you're like, oh no, I want you to survive. It's just everything that makes a summer movie in Deep Blue Sea. It's great. I love it so much. I watch it every year.
I grew up with this movie too. I love this. I adore this movie. Actually, it was really scary growing up. It was like you said. It's really graphic. Some of the scenes where, because the whole premise of the movie is they try to genetically engineer like
Right.
smarter sharks. I don't remember the reasoning why, but
They're trying to
sharks are
cure like Alzheimer's or something.
oh yeah, that's right. They're
crazy
trying
like
to do
that,
like a
yeah.
cure. Yeah, but the whole premise is these sharks, get too smart for their own enclosures, and they break free and they terrorize this offshore research facility. So you're in the middle of nowhere. It has that isolation feel, like in the middle of the ocean. And like I said, some of the scenes, like where they rip the guy in half underwater, like
I
are
love it.
pretty freaking
I
brutal.
love it
Yeah.
so much.
The whole
And
kitchen
it's
scene with LL Cool J, where he's in
oh,
the kitchen getting stalked by the
it's so
shark.
good.
I used to get
It's
so like
well,
intense
when
during
he's
that
like in
scene.
the oven, I get so claustrophobic because
Yes,
he's like trapped in the oven.
I know.
But it's also a great. I mean, not to get too like sappy, but it's a great pro animal movie because it's like let them be in their natural habitat. Don't test on them. Like they're doing their thing. Just leave them alone. So that side of me, the animal lover, is just like, yeah, sharks, fuck them up.
Yeah, you're almost like rooting for the sharks in some scenes for
hundred
sure
percent.
against certain characters. Yeah.
Especially
Uh,
that one chick. I forget her name, but she was an asshole.
oh yeah, yeah. The she had like the
Like
accent.
the
Yeah,
scientist,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I'm
I don't
so
know if you
happy that
mentioned,
she
but
didn't make
Samuel
it.
Jackson is awesome in that movie. He's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic scene.
His scene
Iconic
is
scene.
not. If anyone hasn't seen the movie, I'm not gonna spoil it, but he has probably the most quoted and iconic scene in the movie, and it like comes out of nowhere. It's fucking great. Yeah, I love that
And he,
movie
of
too.
course, gets the word fuck in it, so you gotta watch it, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, what good is having Samuel L. Jackson in your movie if you can't, have him use the word fuck?
Yeah,
But
yeah, so you guys better watch that.
just one more quick shout out for another shark movie that I like is 47 Meters Down.
Me too.
Cool little shark movie. Cool little premise how they're stuck scuba diving underneath the water. So instead of being at the surface and the shark is below you, like in every other shark movie, they're below the shark, kind of being stalked from above. It stars Mandy Moore. So it's got some A-list power there, and it's a cool little movie, and it's got a pretty good ending. I actually like the ending to that movie a lot. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, I adore this movie, especially, and I would say this is one of the more intense, serious shark movies. And
Hmm.
Anybody who has watched or listened to the podcast knows, for some reason, that I like my dark and like demented, twisted endings, and
Hmm.
this one does not disappoint. So I would definitely say check this movie out. It actually might get me one of the most stressed out I've been during a shark movie. I
Yeah.
get like anxiety during it, like
Hmm.
hardcore anxiety.
Hmm.
So I would definitely recommend this one for people who actually want like the thrills and chills out of a shark movie and not just the
Yeah.
fun.
And then speaking of sequels, the sequel, I think it's called Uncaged, 47 Meters Down
Yeah, it
Uncaged.
is.
It goes in a completely different direction, and it's kind of way more bonkers. But I remember watching that being like, what is this crap? And then halfway through, I'm like, wait a minute, this crap is
This is
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah. They're going through like the ruins and stuff, and they're going through like underwater tunnels, and talk about claustrophobic scenes. Some of those scenes as well definitely get me on
Right.
edge. Yeah. So
I would
really,
definitely say picture
God.
the shark being like Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, like
Yeah.
underwater in the sequel.
Yeah.
That's what you'll
It
get.
takes it up a notch in terms of like the sharks. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
which
sure.
is awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
different vibe, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
I like it too. I love it. It got too much hate when it came out. I love it.
Yeah, because it knows what it is too. It didn't try
Oh,
to
yeah.
like, yeah.
It's not trying to be anything other than what it is. And I will say one more shark movie that I love but again, it's kind of like a downer and it's very serious. It's The Reef. It's an
Mm.
Australian horror movie. It's very realistic. They actually use real sharks to film it. I mean, I wouldn't watch it if you guys are in like a down mood, but if you want like a thrill and like suspenseful movie, I would say it's very good. It's very summer vibes, but it's very serious and it's very like survival thriller horror. And it's not happy movie at all, but I would recommend for a quality made shark movie. I would recommend it very much. It's very suspenseful and it actually will it might scare you because that's how realistic it is. I would say. I
Hmm.
recommend it very much.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So sticking with I guess we'll get the other major franchise out of the way, and that's obviously Friday the 13th. I mean, literally is a summer camp, so it doesn't get more summer than that franchise. Uh, it's really like a pick your own story. You don't really have to watch, especially the first, I want to say 7 movies. You don't really need to watch them in order. You can kind of pick what movie you want to watch on any given day or any given night, and you'll have a good time. Even the first, like, I don't know, most of the franchise, even like Freddy vs. Jason, they're all kind of self contained enough. There are recurring characters, but we talked about this in our Final Girl episode. There's not a lot of Final Girls that are recurring at all.
Just like
The
knowing
only one is, I think, the original. She gets
well, she
killed in
remember she dies.
the
Yeah,
first scene. So yeah, I mean,
Alice.
and then you have what's his name is a recurring character,
Tom,
but
Tommy Jarvis is his name.
Jarvis, yeah.
Yeah,
But even that, you don't have to like watch his entire story in order. So it's such a great franchise to watch during the summer because every movie gives you something different. So you can just like whatever
right.
mood you're in, you can just watch a different Friday movie and be fulfilled that way.
I agree, and it's extra special. I mean, I'm assuming for you too, but for me because it literally, the original at least was filmed in New Jersey, and like the franchise mostly takes place in New Jersey, and
Hmm.
obviously we were both living in New Jersey and we're from New
Yeah.
Jersey. For me specifically, the first movie, the second movie, and the fourth movie personally have the most summer vibes. So those are my recommendations for the go-to if you really want the summer like sweat like water during the day and then like hoodie chill at night kind of vibes. I would recommend those three because the third one they kind of like have like hoodies on the entire movie,
Mm.
which and I love the third one. It's one of my favorites. But I will say the first two and part four, the final chapter, they really give me like the summer vibe. So I mean, you guys know obviously Friday the 13th is like a classic summer franchise. So check them all out. But those three specifically to me really get me like in the summer mood.
Yeah. And then we have a couple alternatives, movies that maybe you haven't seen. This one is definitely picked up a cult following in recent years. But I got to shout out Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah,
Um, Total fucking 80s movie. I mean, you watch any shot from this movie, you're like, wow, this is freaking 80s. The ending is iconic. We don't even have to talk about the ending.
twist ending.
And if you haven't seen it, we don't want to talk about it anyway and spoil
We'll
it
cover it
because
one day. Yeah,
yeah, we'll cover it one day. But talk about vibes, like summer camp vibes. It doesn't get more immersive than Sleepaway Camp. I think it doesn't get enough credit for the atmosphere that they kind of have in that movie. Everyone talks about the ending and like the cheesiness of the kills, but some of those long extended shots of them like just walking the camp and I always talk about the baseball scene that's like 10 minutes
yeah.
long that doesn't need to be 10 minutes long, but it like while you're watching it, you're like, why is this scene so long? But then it's like, wait a minute, I get it. Like you feel like you're in the camp with these kids, and
Right.
it really just takes you to that place. And so it's a great movie to watch during the summer. I wouldn't watch that movie unless it was in the summer. I think,
I
you know,
agree. And
yeah,
in some twisted way, even though I watched the movie and I know what happens, it made me like want to transport back and like go to summer camp in a
yes,
weird way.
yeah. I've briefly talked about this. I've never been to a sleepaway camp before in the summer. So
Yeah.
it definitely growing up it made me want to like yeah, definitely go away. I'm like, wow, that looks fun. Like obviously minus the killing part, but
Minus the killing and murdering, but
yeah.
it's fun. And I want to give a shout out. Part two and part three are like pure camp, but the kills are fucking awesome. So it's a great trilogy. If you want,
Hmm.
I mean, part four is really bad, but the original trilogy, if you want to just
Yes.
watch it for like pure campy vibes, I would just do a binge one Friday. Have some drinks in here though. Don't watch this sober. like get a good buzz and watch the trilogy because it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And I know you had one other.
I do.
camp
So
style
it's
movie.
very Friday the 13th ripoff, but it's, I mean, I'm sure hardcore fans know it's The Burning from 1981. Uh, I don't want to, I don't know, no one, I don't think you watched it, so I don't want to talk
I've
about it
actually
too
never seen
much.
this movie, so
But it's really, really cool gore effects, and it takes place at a summer camp as well. I don't want to say like how the killing starts because we'll cover it when we get to that movie. But it's just like if you like Friday the 13th, you gotta watch this movie. It has awesome kills. It has Jason Alexander in it. It is one of his earlier roles from.
nice.
So if you're any Seinfeld fans, so check that out.
Mm-hmm.
But and it kind of does do a little subversion because there's not a final girl, there's a final boy. So I thought that was pretty cool that they changed it up a little bit. And it's just a gnarly movie with some gnarly kill scenes and a pretty cool final chase, which is what I come to my slasher movies for. And the final chase scene does not disappoint. So again, I don't want to say too much because Nolan hasn't watched it, and I'm sure we'll cover it, within the coming years. But it's a great movie if you want to watch. If you're like, oh, I've seen Friday the 13th a couple of times, just pop in The Burning instead. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Okay, what's next? Do you want to go next?
Um, Yes, we should bring up another biggie, I guess. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Talk about feeling sweaty and gross, and you want to take a
Mm-hmm.
shower. It's this franchise. Specifically for me, it's of course the original because it just makes watching it. Toby Hooper, it just makes me feel so hot. Like
Yeah.
I could be in like a 60-degree house with like the AC like blowing, and I still feel like, am I sweating?
Mm-hmm.
Just because it just looks they look like they're in like pain from all the sweat and
Yeah.
distress. And so I know both of us have spoken before that we prefer the remake, and I even prefer the remake and the 2006 prequel, the beginning as well, to the original. But I just want to give the original credit because I like literally feel the heat just by
Mm-hmm.
watching the original. So, and then when she's running around too, I'm just like, oh my god. I always want to take a shower after I watch the original. So kudos to him for that
Yeah.
movie. You know what I mean?
I definitely
It's
agree.
a
We
summer must.
we
Yeah.
both prefer the remakes, and I think they're better movies, but they don't capture the heat and the stickiness and the disgustingness the
Yeah.
same way that the original does. Just with the all the orange and the red hues and the shots, and even like the dinner table scene is just so,
Ugh.
you could just feel the heatness in that room, and it's
Like you can tell there's no AC
sticky
in
and
that house.
disgusting. Oh yeah, and it's you're in the middle of Texas, and there's probably bugs everywhere, and it's disgusting. I totally agree with you. Every time I want to take a shower afterwards, even if I'm like bundled up in a sweatshirt, I still feel hot. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
Talk
yeah, maybe not
about
one to
like,
watch if you're comfortable, but one to watch
yeah,
if you want to get in for a sweaty night.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like the big one when you think of like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
movies that make you feel hot and sticky. That is the definitive one, Texas Chainsaw,
And
and it
again,
was like the
kudos
first
for
to do it
them.
too.
Yeah, and kudos for them for showing that to us with no budget because again, it's so low budget, but like we
Hmm.
feel it. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right, cool. My next one is a movie that we covered actually, and
Oh,
it's What Lies Beneath. This is a movie I like to watch at the end of summer because it takes place at the end of summer. Definitely if you live in the Northeast, as like the August comes to a close and the nights start getting a little cooler. It's definitely a cool movie to pop in. You can watch it throughout summer, but it takes place, I believe, in New England, right? So it's got those like
yes.
cool summer nights with a sweatshirt, but it's still warm during the day, and it has like those little small towns. What's the one town called that we I forget the
I
name
can't
of it
remember. We
now.
were talking
Damn it!
about like
I remembered
endlessly
it
in the episode.
during the
Yeah,
episode, but
because you were making fun of the
yeah, it's
shop, the
got
little
like
antique shop.
yeah, yeah, it's got those
I
little
can't
cool
remember off my
small
head.
towns, and it's got the boating
Yeah,
scene. So it's definitely a cool summer movie to watch. Like I said, the end of summer maybe before you go to college, or before, if you're older, before your kids go back to college, because that's when it takes place.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil too much because we did just do an episode on it. So, and it was our first special guest. We had your sister on. I think it was a really good episode, and we really dove deep into the different themes of the movie, and we got a female's perspective from that episode from your sister, and I think it was a really good discussion. So definitely check that out if you guys haven't. We were really proud of that episode, and it's a great movie. So definitely check out the movie as well if you haven't.
Yeah, I'm happy. Before we started recording, you brought it up. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even realize, but like, I think I naturally watched that movie around like Labor Day weekend, but I didn't like even like realize it in my head until you brought it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, it is a summer movie because I like watch it till like end the summer every year.
Yeah.
And I just never thought about it because it's just so natural, that movie to me. And if you guys watch the episode, I hope you do. Obviously, it means a lot to my sister and I. She picked out the movie. It's an all-timer for me, so I hope you guys watch the episode. But yeah, when you brought it up, I'm like, oh shit, I do watch that movie like every like end of summer. It's awesome. So yes, I recommend that one. Definitely for like a chilly, breezy night when you can have the windows open, I would say.
Yeah, we're talking a lot of like campy movies and stuff. This is not a campy movie. This is a very well done movie. It's got Harrison Ford. Michelle Pfeiffer is awesome. So it's got A-list stars. The budget wasn't super big, but what they did with the budget was really good. It's definitely serious vibes. It's a thriller. It's a mystery. Definitely check it out. This is more of a less campy movie, though. I know we've been talking about a lot of campy movies on our list, but this is definitely a more serious tone.
Yeah, I hate the term, but it's probably the most prestige movie we talked about so far in this episode. I hate that term, though, but yes, it is.
Well, Midsummer, I guess, gets some prestige as well. Yeah.
So I'll throw another one out, and it's one that actually Nolan hasn't seen, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's a newer one. It's actually a 2018 movie. It's called Summer of 1984. I don't want to talk about it too much, but it literally transports me to like 4th of July in the summer. And to the 80s. It makes me wish I was an 80s kid. And it has our I mean, I don't want to spoil, but if we ever do a Final Boy episode, Judah Lewis, who is the star of The Babysitter and The Babysitter Killer Queen, is also in this movie. And he made a name for himself in the horror genre. He's great in this movie. And I don't want to talk about it too much because we'll cover it and Nolan hasn't seen it, but it starts out like your typical mystery, and it's a slow burn and slow build, but the ending, it goes for it, and I'm all about it. And it's just, and the score reminds me of John Carpenter's score. And I mean, if you guys have listened, you know Halloween is my favorite movie and my second favorite franchise, so that means a lot to me. And damn, that score is so fucking good. And again, I don't want to say anything else because I want Nolan to watch it with fresh eyes, and I might make it a point for us to cover it this summer. But it's just such a good summer movie. It's so good. If you guys haven't watched it, it's so underseen. I highly recommend it. It's great acting. It's about a group of kids. It kind of has like, if you want to go to it, you can say Stranger Things meets It, but like with a mystery, like realistic vibe. That's how I would describe it. It's very set in reality, but it has that like group kid vibe of like Stranger Things and It. So I highly recommend it. I don't think anyone would be disappointed with it. It's so underseen. It's criminal how many people have not seen this movie.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'll have to borrow it from you someday. You
Yes.
said you have it on Blu-ray?
I do.
Cool. Awesome. Just to wrap things up, this is my last one. I don't know how many you have left, but this is kind of another biggie. This movie means a lot to you, but it's I know what you did last summer.
That's my last one. Yeah.
That's your last one too. Yeah. So just to wrap things up,
I know, and I still know.
Talk about 4th of July. I have to watch this every 4th of July. I know you definitely do.
Oh my god.
You're more a fan of the franchise. You're more a fan of the sequel. I usually just watch the first one. I've seen the sequel a few times, and I can't get into it as much. I think the setting could have been better with the sequel. I think it's yeah. I don't know where they filmed. I think the location they filmed at was a little too, I don't know, not to get into the sequel too much, but the original is awesome. Talk about summer fun. I mean, it literally, in terms of like plots revolving around the summer, it doesn't get more involved than I know what you did last summer. So
Summer in
yeah,
the title. Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead. I'll let you
I
gush
am
about
so
this movie
happy
a little
that
bit.
this is what we're ending on because I know Jaws is a classic, but like if you're gonna press me, I might say that I like watching these two more than Jaws every summer. Don't hate me, people, because
Wow.
it's so I mean, again, guys, like we're '90s kids. I can't help it. Like it's just how I was brought up, and I remember after I made my mom like rent Scream for like the 85th time. She's like, "Well, this new one's I know what you did last summer." I'm like, "No, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch Scream." And she's
Mhm.
like, "Come on, we got to rent something different this time." And we rented it. I'm like, "Oh my god, I fucking love this movie too. It's so good." And then I grew up, so it's like very special to me because I ended up growing up with these two movies too. And much like Scream and Scream 2, they came out a year apart. And I Know What You Did Last Summer and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer came out a year apart. So again, it's my sweet spot. And I actually looked up, like, I don't know if before I like got a job like as an adult in New Jersey, I like looked up houses in Southport where the original took place because I fell in love with that location so much. I'm like, I'm gonna move to Southport where I Know You Did Last Summer was filmed because that's how much I love it. And the sequel, it's like, let's go to the Bahamas. That I mean, it's pure fun. The sequel too. It takes place in the Bahamas, so you can't go wrong with both of these. And again, spoiler, but if you watched our Final Girl episode, I have a soft spot for Julie James, played by Jennifer Love Hewitt. I hope that they actually end up making this supposed requel, sequel, legacy sequel that they're supposedly greenlit. And I cannot wait to have her and Freddie Prinze Jr. back. It's just it hits my sweet spot because it's a whodunit again, and it has great suspense and amazing chase scenes. The original specifically has maybe I can't commit to it, but it's either my favorite chase scene or my second favorite chase scene of all time with Sarah Michelle Gellar's character Helen, and it just does something for me. I love it. It has that '90s grunge music. I mean, it's tailor made for me. So if you guys haven't watched the original, and I would say the sequel too, I know some people hate it, but I think it's a perfect double feature. And the title is so good for the sequel. I mean, I Still Know You Did Last Summer. It's just it's perfect. It's simple, but it's perfect. So I would say definitely after you pop in the Jaws and Jaws 2, this would be my like highest recommendation of I Know What You Did Last Summer and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. It's the perfect whodunit slash slasher. Yeah, I don't know what else to say because I think we might end up covering the original at least this 4th of July season, so I don't want to go into it too much. But definitely check these out, guys. They are super, super, super important to me.
That gives me idea because I kind of need to win one of these polls. I'm a bit of a losing streak. Why don't we do a poll? Uh, which double feature do you prefer, Jaws
That's
2,
true.
or
We
I
can do
Know You
that.
Did Last Summer double feature? I kind of think I'll win this one at least. If I don't, then something's
Then
rigged.
there's something wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just some of my freak '90s personality coming out right there. But yeah, I
yeah.
do recommend these two back to back. I just don't. They don't make slashers like this anymore. Like it transports you back to, especially like you said. Like I feel like I'm in a 4th of July parade when I watch the original specifically. And in the second one, I just feel like I want to be on an island vacation, minus the killing. I don't know. I just feel like movies, they lost the magic of like these last couple of years of like transporting you into like that specific like time period of like
Mhm.
the holiday season. I don't know why. It might just be because I'm partial to '90s, but I don't know. I feel like there's so much care put into these movies, and I just love it.
I definitely agree. Yeah, they just, especially the first one, just like you said, it just exudes 4th of July. It's so cool. The whole town is like kind of celebrating, and you get
Yep.
that throughout the movie. So, and it actually plays an important part in the role too, the plot too. So, it kind of is just all incorporated. So, I definitely agree. But that wraps it up. Yeah, that's our recommendations for some summer horror flicks. We had some big names on there, but hopefully we had some titles on there that you guys haven't seen before that you guys can maybe check out. Definitely before we cover all these movies, we covered What Lies Beneath, but other than that, we haven't covered any of these movies yet. So definitely look forward to doing that. And you can subscribe to our channel and give us a follow on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcast, Apple Podcasts, to get future updates on these movies when we cover them. But let us know in the comments what your favorite summer horror movie is, and let us know if you decide to watch any of these movies. How did you like them? Did you not like them? Did we miss any movies? Definitely want to hear from you. But yeah, that was a fun, quick episode. Happy summer, guys. We're, like Ant said, we just recorded this on Memorial Day, so Memorial Day just passed, and it's now officially summer. At least it is for us in New Jersey. That's kind of what the line is for summer. I know it's different in other places, but we're kind of in full summer mode now, and that's apparent 100%. By the traffic because we live down the shore, so it's just insane right now. But so we're in full summer mode, and this is going to take us all the way through Labor Day. You can watch What Lies Beneath in Labor Day, but hopefully this is a good list to kind of get you through summer. And yeah, that was episode.
We did a good mixture.
I think so too. Yeah, we did.
And I think that also might be. I love how you said that, because we live in shore towns. I mean, if you guys don't know, we live in the shore area, so that might be another reason why I know what you do last summer. It speaks to me because it has that vibe. I don't know, it has that vibe. But yeah, anyway, we had some great picks. I hope you guys check them out.
Yeah, awesome. But until next time, this is the Never Split Up podcast. Find us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at neversplituppod. Again, find us on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the channel, and we might run a poll. I was kind of half joking, but maybe we'll just do like a fun poll. What's your favorite, summer flick or something? I don't know.
What's your favorite scary movie?
So yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Check. Follow us there to check for the polls. We love hearing from you guys in the polls. Thanks so much for voting for your favorite Final Girls. The winner of that, which was Anthony, will probably be getting an advantage in our next episode when we cover our next movie. We don't know what that is yet, but keep a lookout for that. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for listening and watching, guys. See you guys later, and happy summer.